We are going to be cooking some banana nut bread for Christmas today. I'm going to show you how to make some great gifts. And when you're making banana nut bread, the good thing about it is you can make 3 versions of it. They're very easy and everyone loves them. So today we're going to make a regular banana nut bread, and then we're going to make one that has walnuts in it, but you can choose to put pecans if you like. I just like walnuts. And then we're going to make a third one that has chocolate chips in it as well. Now you can even go as far as making a fourth one and have the chocolate chips and the nuts. Uh, and whenever we get these baked, they'll make beautiful gifts. You can arrange them in different ways, use different containers. But it is a old recipe that people love to eat, banana nut bread. So it's a great gift to give. So what we're going to start out with today is I'll go over our ingredients. So first of all, when you're first starting and you're getting all your ingredients out, you see I have some golden flaxseed right here and a cup and a half of water. That's a half a cup of flaxseed. And what you do is you put it in a grinder and you just grind it until it's finely ground. Pour it into a bowl and mix your water in it, and we're going to let this sit. And as you see, I have pre-done this, and it makes a very thick mixture as it sits. What this does is for people who have cholesterol issues, what have you, and they don't need the eggs, this takes the place of eggs in your banana nut bread, and it tastes great. It gives it a really good flavor, especially with the golden. I love the golden better than just your brown flaxseed. But you see the consistency here? It's like how eggs do when you mix them up. So this is going to take the place of that. Okay? So I have that, and I just, before I started getting everything else out, that's the first thing I did. Grind those flaxseed up. Now you can get some pre-ground if you want. I just like to have that fresh taste, make sure I got the very best ingredients in my banana nut bread. So that's why I like to grind mine. And just add some cold water to it. Like I say, a half a cup. Now this recipe is a big recipe. So if you don't want to make but like 1 loaf or even a half a loaf, a mini loaf, you can reduce this bread very easily. Just, break the recipe down to how you need it to be. So, all right, this one's going to be for gift giving, this batch here. I used to run a restaurant that I own called Giagat's Old Country Store and Restaurant. And this was one of my customers' most favorite things to purchase. I would bake up these loaves of banana nut bread, cut them into slices, and no sooner than I'd put a big tray of them out, they were gone. So hopefully you'll enjoy this recipe as well. So now we have this part ready. All right, we're going to move on. Our next step, you're going to put 4 cups of sugar. I use a organic pure sugar cane in your mixer, and you're going to add 1 1/3 cup of butter to that mixer. Okay. Just put that down in there. And try not to make a mess. We're going to make a little bit of a mess. And what we're going to do is we're going to cream this together until it's nice and creamed up, very well mixed. This is a critical step in banana nut bread to help make your bread fluffy and not dense. You want a nice, good bread. Okay. Make these right over here out of the way. Okay, I'm just going to start this out on a low setting and let it start getting mixed in there. so we just don't have all the powder come up like you do with sugar and especially with flour. But as it gets going, and I'm just mixing this with my KitchenAid mixer. I have made it with hand mixers. I've even made it with whisk and really had to work it a long time. So whatever you have on hand, you can do this. All right. To get us going to begin with here, I'm just going to make sure I get all this down off the sides, and then I'm going to let it go while we get our bananas ready. Okay. All right. And boy, is it going to be good. Some good stuff. Okay, we're going to cut this back on. And I'm going to let it sit there and just beat. And I have let my butter sit out a little bit, but generally you want it pretty cold. You don't want it to be room temperature. It will fluff up better if it's good and cold. It's just harder to get it going. Now, I use Earth Balance butter here and the pure sugar cane sugar. Okay, so we're going to let this fluff up. In the meantime, I have 12 to 14 bananas. Now, here's something I do in my recipe that you're going to see is different than a lot of people's banana nut bread. You notice my bananas are not already aged and turned brown and spotted. A lot of recipes you see, they say you know that's required. I like what the bananas do when they are just good. I mean, like good eating bananas. They're sweet, they're still firm textured, and they just have a great flavor to them. When you bake these bananas in this bread in the oven, it's going to turn the same color. Ours may be a little bit lighter. Sometimes it is. It just depends. Than if you use very, very ripe bananas. So what we're going to do is just stick these bananas right in the bowl here. And you can break them up. They're going to be mushed anyway. It doesn't matter. Okay. So you put these in there. This is creaming up really good. I don't want my butter to get too soft, so I'm going to show you this real quick. You see how that is nice and creamy? That's what we want. And we're going to let that sit there for just a minute. Okay. We're going to take and get 1 1/3 cups of water. I've got about 1 1/2 in here. So we're going to add that to our bananas. And nothing has to be just exact, okay, right here with the bananas, because they're going to be all different sizes and shape. Now, if you've got little bitty bananas, and not mine were about your medium size, they have bananas now that are just huge, and then sometimes you get them, they're little bitty. If they're, just gauge it where if you have medium-sized bananas, you need 12 to 14 bananas for this recipe. And like I say, this will make 4 really good big size loaves. Today we're making mini loaves. We're going to be doing in our little gift pans that I will show you in just a little bit. All right, so to begin with, we're going to start breaking down our bananas. And this one, and you want it nice and creamy. And your goal is going to be a nice translucent kind of look with the bananas. That's our goal. And cooking is fun. Cooking is fun. You know, you can get in here and be creative, you know, get you some music going, just enjoy it. I've learned that when people cook with love and they have fun doing it, the food always tastes better. When it's a chore and you're not happy doing it, it seems to always reflect in your food. I don't know why that is, but it does. So we're gonna have fun and cook with love today. You see how this is getting glossy, kind of looking, and it's all blended. Okay, that thing's loud. And as you see, I'm mixing this up in a pretty good size container bowl here because you're gonna need the space. Okay, you're gonna need all that nice room. I'm just gonna push all this down. Okay, so here's what we got. We have our sugar and our butter all creamed together. We have our flaxseed and water creating our eggs. And we have our banana mixture. Well, right here in this container right here, I have 6 cups in this bowl. I have 6 2/3 cups. It's a bread flour, and it does not have no baking powder or any of that in it yet, so we're going to put that in it. So it's like an all-purpose bread flour. Self-rising already has your baking powder in it. So in the recipe, if all you have is a self-rising flour, eliminate the baking powder that's in this recipe that we'll have listed down below. But what you're going to do is you're going to have 6 2/3 cups of flour. You're going to have 4 teaspoons of baking soda. You're going to have a tablespoon of baking powder. And like I said, if you're using a self-rising flour, it already has that in it. So eliminate that. And it's got 2 teaspoons of sea salt. I use a Himalayan sea salt, pink sea salt. So we are going to set this right here over just a moment as we are assembling everything. All right, we're going to move this our banana and water mixture out of the way, and we're going to work on our flour mixture. Okay, in my kitchen, I keep a sifter in my little container right here, always ready because I like to make all my biscuits and everything, and I keep my measuring spoons and everything right there handy. So it's just my thing. You don't have to sift this if you don't want to. But here's the problem. Anytime you're using baking soda in a recipe, it can get these little hard clumps in it. And you have to be really careful because those little hard clumps of baking soda, when you bake your biscuits or, any kind of breads, you bite into it and there's that piece of baking soda clump and it just makes the whole thing taste bad. So I like to sift everything I use like that because I make my baking powder myself. I use cream of tartar, arrowroot, and baking soda. And you do, if you're wanting to make it yourself, so for a tablespoon of baking powder, what you would do is take and use a half a tablespoon of, excuse me, my brain went blank. You'd have to take a half a tablespoon of cream of tartar, and then you would take a 3/4 of a teaspoon of a arrowroot and 3/4 teaspoon baking soda, and that makes your baking powder. In other words, twice as much cream of tartar to your arrowroot and your baking soda. I'll do another video on that later and explain that a little better. So, not to get off track here, I have 6 2/3 cups of flour. I'm going to sift together with my baking soda, my sea salt, and my baking powder. Okay? And we're going to get that flour light. We're going to be adding some air into it, and we're going to be getting that light and fluffy. And that's what you want with banana nut bread, with any bread. When you're doing quick breads, that's, breads that's your baking powder risen breads, and you're not using yeast and you're not having long rise times, you want your ingredients to be light and fluffy. And so sifting always helps. When you're making cakes, breads, any of that. Biscuits, you always want to sift your flour. Even if you're using self-rising flour, sift that flour, because as it sits or when you measured it out, a lot of times it gets beat down and heavy. So that's just something my grandmother always did, and I used to love to watch her cook and wanted to do what she was doing. So I was the helper in the kitchen. Not always wanted helper, but I was the helper. I made a real good dishwasher anyway. Which happened to be one of my favorite things to do. I was like a strange kid, I guess. I loved the kitchen. I loved all the gadgets. I loved the smells and just making something out of nothing and making it great. And that's what bacon does. Okay. So once you get all them old clumps worked out of there and everything sifted together, we'll move this out of the way. Well, let me keep that. I'm just going to move this bowl out of the way. Okay. We're going to start assembling all this together and get all of our parts. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 parts that we have worked. The first thing I'm going to do is take our egg mixture, which is flaxseed. It's a golden flaxseed. We're going to pour it into the banana mixture. And like I said, this is a big batch. So it makes 4 really good size, nice batches of bread. So if you've got someone really special in your life, you can just give a whole big old loaf to them. Okay. We're going to work that in here. And we're going to blend this really well. My little tile piece just wants to move with me. Yeah. Okay. We're working it up. Our next thing, we are going to take our creamed butter and sugar mixture, and we're going to, let me get this right here, add that in as well. Let me get all the goodies off. All them goodies. And you remember, our goal was to make this light and fluffy. Gotta beat it a little bit. We don't want to lose none of that good stuff. I've always been a very southern country cook, and I love to recreate recipes to make them healthier and just a little better for you, even the naughty ones. And this banana nut bread, because it does not have eggs in it, it does not have dairy in it, even the butter is a vegan butter. If you don't know what vegan is, it's just a dairy-free, no animal product butter that tastes absolutely great. So if you've never tried it, give it a try. You'll love it. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm not mixing nothing. We'll add all of this into here. I'll fold it in. A lot of people are intimidated on making banana nut bread because it does have multiple steps to it. But that's okay. It just means there's more things going on in this recipe to make it great. It's not hard to do. It's just you gotta go step by step to get it right. You know, some folks wants to just throw the sugar, the butter, bananas, everything in there and just mix it all at one time. And they don't take these individual steps. And when you don't take these individual steps, you lose a lot of flavor enhancing techniques that you need for this recipe. Okay? And like I say, you can use a hand mixer at this point if you would like. I'm just working some of it in here. I'll fold it. We don't want to get all that nice air worked out of it too much. We want to keep it nice and coming together here. All right. So now what we're going to start doing is working our flour little by little. What I do is I just sprinkle on top. Don't throw it all in at once. Work it just till it's wet, and it's you're ready to put some more in it. Okay. And getting all the little lumps and stuff out of it. And it's going to be good and thick. But what you can do when you're making your gifts is if you get a really pretty Christmas box, like, you can go to Hobby Lobby, what have you, you can get a little pretty box. You can get the little bread baking dishes like I'm going to show you in a moment. And actually, they don't have to just be Christmas ones. They can be, some that's on sale, what have you, for after even Thanksgiving season, because basically you're giving a gift that can be reused. So it's okay. Use what you can afford and get a good deal on. Now, if you were doing a single loaf, you'd already have this part done. But we're not. We're doing a big loaf. We're doing multiple loaves. So we gotta use those arm muscles a little bit. And like I say, you don't have to do this by hand. I just like to do it by hand because I like just, more so folding it in and working it. So it's taken me a little longer than you would normally have if you were just doing the one loaf. So making breads of any kind, you make yeast breads and you're kneading, boy, you're going to get some workout. But anyway, what I was saying a while ago about making it into a gift, if you have you made 4 different flavors, 3 different flavors, what have you, of this banana nut bread, you would just put your little loaf pans in that pretty little box, and it does it all for you because it just looks beautiful, and everyone's going to be so excited that you're giving them banana nut bread or banana bread for those who can't eat the nuts, banana chocolate bread. They're all really good. But I want to tell you, with banana nut bread, it's better the next day. After it sets for a day and the flavors really just come out in it and it just blends, it is so good the next day. All right, almost there. Get this little last bit of flour worked in. We're going to be ready to do some baking. Now, you're going to preheat your oven to 375. And I'll give you all of your baking times in just a minute. At this point, when it starts getting this thick, what I want you to do, instead of just beating it to pieces, I want you to fold, okay? Just fold it, get all the dry mixed into it. Fold it over. And we're going to let this set just a minute. And all that baking powder, baking soda is all going to start reacting, and we're going to start getting lift in it. And it rises pretty good. Boy, is it good. I mean, with 4 cups of sugar in it. That's a cup of sugar a loaf. You know it's got to be good. All right, we've got this all mixed up. Now, being that we're going to be making multiple loaves with this, we're going to take and separate this into batches. And then we're going to add our other ingredients into it. So we're going to pause right here just a moment while I clean some of this up. We're going to get everything ready to be able to get it ready to go in the oven and make some good stuff. So we'll be right back. All right, we are ready. I have things all set up. And while I was gone, I went ahead and divided these up. I love these kind of chocolate chips. It's Enjoy Life, and they are a dairy-free, and they're also gluten-free. But now, of course, this bread is not gluten-free, but you could use a gluten-free flour in it. I will be doing some recipes showing how to make gluten-free bread as well. So make sure and check back so you can, if you have that need as well. So I love to do a lot of the alternate cooking and recreating recipes and making them great. So, but these are the chocolate chips we'll be using today. I have about 2 cups, two good cups of walnuts here. These are here. And I put them in this little sandwich bag, and what I'm going to do to get them ready is just take the back of your spoon, a nice wooden spoon or a rolling pin or a glass, whatever it is that you might have on hand. I mean, it can be this can, it doesn't matter. Okay, so you're just going to take and, like I say, you can use whatever you have handy. Just whack them things, get them at a texture of a size that you would enjoy biting into. You don't want a big old huge piece of nut, you know, in your mouth when you're biting into it. So I like to just hit them with that. Got any stresses of the day, just take it out on it. But get them, you know, nice little chunks there. Walnuts are really easy to break up. Now, if you tend to ever have allergy problems with walnuts, or you suspect that you may, one thing that is really good that will help that is to take your walnuts and rinse them off really good, and then just lay them on a towel to dry, and then put them in your bag. And they have a powder on them that sometimes it's not so much the nut itself that bothers people, but it's that powder on it. And you'll see when you let them soak in the water for just, it doesn't take long, just a few minutes, you'll see it comes to the top of the water. And just rinse that away, and it makes it a lot better nut. And walnuts are great for you. They have your omega oils in them that really can help your joints, and there's just so much good to them. You eat a few of them at night, they'll help you sleep good. So there's just a lot of good stuff in walnuts. Now, some people would prefer to use pecans in this recipe. That's fine. Just use whatever you want. There's so many things that you can do with this recipe. It's not limited to chocolate chip or nut or plain. You could add cranberries to it. I have done so many different versions of this. Whatever you love with banana works in this recipe. Peanut butter is a great thing that you can use as well. A banana peanut butter bread is great. So experiment, get in, have fun, just enjoy it and try it out. So what we're going to do next is we're going to add chocolate chips to one of these. Somebody forgot their scissors, but I got it. And this is a 9-ounce bag, and I have about, let's see how many cups this is. It's not quite 2 quarts. It's about 6 cups, maybe more. It's going to vary how much you have because of the size of the bananas, like we were talking about before. So you know, you may have just be know that it can vary a bit. So I have about 6 to 7 cups in here. I'm going to add a bag of chocolate chips to this one, and I'm going to add my walnuts in this one. And whenever you're doing your walnuts, keep a few out. You can decorate the top of the bread a little bit with them if you want to, or just, you know, just so you know what is in each of your bread containers without having to cut it open. And so we're going to just gently stir these in. And I probably said that wrong. My husband likes to pick on me, and I don't know the difference between steer and stir. I'm not sure. So if I say it wrong, y'all just laugh with me, because I really don't know. Like I said, I'm a country girl, and that's what I am. All right, so we've got that blended in. Just gently. You don't want to overwork these. We already have this batter ready to go. And the more you work flour, once the flour is wet, the more gluten that it creates, which it'll make it tough. So we don't want a whole lot of working at this point. we've done all we need. Just sort of gently fold. Okay, so we have our 3 different mixtures. I found these little pans. They're actually, they can go for Thanksgiving, they can go for Christmas, whatever you like. I thought it was great because it had a nice little Bible verse from Psalms 34:8. Taste and see that the Lord is good. You know, God is so good to us and He has blessed us so much. You just take a look at the beautiful flowers and the trees and the things that is so often we're blinded from seeing in life when hardship happens and we get, caught up in work or what have you. We fail to see how wonderful and beautiful things can be. And cooking is another example of that. God gave us all of these things that creates these ingredients that we put into this food. And it is such a blessing to be able to prepare something and see the smile on someone's face and children laughing and loving it. My kids, they always look forward to a big pan of biscuits or what have you, and you would just see them light up, and I loved it. And it just made me want to go in there and make something else like this banana nut bread. So just find your little pretty containers. Remember, we're making some gifts. So I like to be able to scoop mine into the containers. It just keeps it a little bit neater, a little nicer. We're going to see. We're doing the chocolate chip ones right now. Let's see what we need in these little containers. Okay, we're going to put about 3 scoops into each container. I'm just going to make sure that, because these are gifts, if otherwise it wouldn't matter. Just keep it clean. Just keep it neat. Keep it nice. And we'll do a few of these, this first row with the chocolate chip. And then I'm going to do some with the walnuts in it. Look how pretty that is. Now when you bake these, and I told you 375 a while ago, preheat your oven to 375 because you want that boost of heat, but when you put these into the oven, just knock it down to 350. These take a little while to cook, and it varies on where you're at and how your oven cooks. I will tell you some things to look for to know when they're done. You can take a toothpick for one thing and do them just like you would a cake to see if it's dry in the middle. But one of the signs for banana nut bread that you're going to see is the coloring of them will turn dark, and right down the middle they'll crack in the middle of them. And when you want that crack, you want that sort of a signature look of the banana nut bread. And what it is when the outer parts are getting done, the inner part is still rising and coming up. So it literally forms that crack in there. It's all this moisture from the bananas in it and all this good stuff we got going on. So now I'm going to go ahead and use this same scooper. Go right over here to, I'm going to do the plain one first because some people have nut allergies. And typically, if you were going to do this and you didn't want to mess up a bunch of scoopers, get your plain ones done first. And that way, for elderly people who can't chew the nuts, you want something plain. Now, they love the chocolate chips though, so you can't go that route for them. But if you were going to take some gifts to the nursing home or what have you, you've got loved ones, just give them the plain banana nut bread, or the chocolate chip. Don't give the nuts unless you know they can still chew them nuts up. But when you start dipping, you don't want to use up 3 different scoops and make huge messes. Just do your plain ones first, then move on over to the ones that have the different ingredients in it. So I'm going to go ahead And I'm going to do these 2 back ones here. And then I also have because this would actually it's going to make many more than what I have right here. So I have a pan that I have ready to put the remainder of the batter in to make some other ones that are a little smaller than these. This is actually really like a medium size loaf, not the teeny tiny. You'll see in just a minute. All right, now we're going to do the walnut, the traditional banana nut bread. So is walnut. And you see how creamy this recipe is. I mean, it is so good. A hot cup of coffee and a slice of banana nut bread for breakfast. You just can't beat it. My kids love their banana nut bread. So guess what they're getting for Christmas? This is it. Made with love. Get to see the love that went into their bread. They watched my videos, wouldn't they? Yeah. We're going to get these filled up and we're going to get them in the oven. And then I will show you the finished product when we get done. And might have to have that cup of coffee and a slice of banana nut bread. So now they're going to rise up and they're going to fill these containers up good. That's what we want. That's okay. I have a mini loaf, and excuse this pan's been used a lot. I also have some big ones, so I'm probably going to I'm going to pull out a big loaf pan as well. And what I do is, if you end up with, oh, I got a little bit of this one and I have a little bit of that left, and we'll mix them all together. Just mix them and make some good stuff and have a little chocolate, little walnut all together. And that's okay. We can do that. It's our recipe. It's our bacon. In this little pan, I'm going to get about 1.5 scoops. Is the most it's going to get. And we're going to get my wonderful husband to do something for us here. Will you go get me a toothpick off the table? Actually, bring me a couple of them. He's our filming guy. Because I do not know anything about cameras. This is all totally new to me. So if I don't do everything right, y'all just excuse me. And let's just have fun with it. We can laugh together and we can cook together. Thank you. As long as we're having fun doing it. Get the kids involved. Get them grandkids in here. Let them play and cook and sample. That's cooking is about family. Bringing the family together. Making people happy, putting smiles on their face and filling their bellies. What better can you get than that? That's what it's always meant to me. And I've tried to instill that love of cooking in all of my kids' lives, and now they get to do that with their kids, and I get to pass it on with my grandkids. Okay, I still got some left over here, and I'm gonna mix them all together in just a minute. We're gonna go ahead and work on getting these in the oven, and I will come back and show you the good stuff when it's done. And so we'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, we're back. We have these good looking bread, and this one was our walnut, as you see. You can sort of see the coloring. They didn't really split down the middle in these small loaves like they did even in the little mini loaves here. You see that crack? That's generally what they do. Only thing I can figure is these hold a lot of heat. It took a while to cool them in these. And so I would recommend right when they, you can take like a cake pick or a toothpick and just check the center, make sure that it's not wet when you pull it out. And as soon as you start seeing that it's good and golden brown, go ahead and take them out because they will continue cooking for a bit longer because these little baking dishes really hold the heat, I noticed. But they'll still be great. They'll be wonderful gifts. All right, before we sample these and we're letting ours cool off and making us a nice dandelion tea to go with it, because I didn't have my coffee for today. So I'm going to show you a few little gift ideas while we're doing this that you can make. And I set a few things out here. I picked these up just at the local Dollar General. They're very not too expensive, and I thought they were really, really cute for your tea lovers, coffee lovers. You can pick up these little jars. They have all different kinds of shapes at Hobby Lobby, which is great, and also like these little boxes. And we're going to show a few little gifts that you can make very easily with your nice banana nut bread. That's got like a magnetic close on it, and it's so beautiful. And right now, at the end of this season here, they have these all marked down. So you can really be able to not only buy for these last minute gifts that you're trying to make, but you can buy for next year and put them in a good, clean, safe place and store them, and you'll have everything ready for next year. This is another box that we're going to make up and show how to make a gift for more like a couple or even a family with children. As you know, you get the tissue paper that you put in to the gifts. But there's all different types of things from the boxes. Woo! Excuse me, y'all. To even some beautiful bags that I found this year. This one was really pretty. It says, "Will be called a wonderful counselor, mighty God, everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." Isaiah 9:6. I thought that was a really pretty bag. But anyway, let's look at some of this. We have some coffee, and my favorite brand is Black Rifle. My children got me started on that. They really love it. And I purchased dandelion leaf in a bulk bag. It makes a great tea. It has tremendous health benefits. We generally use dandelion root and we roast it, and it can take the place, not exactly like, but can take the place of coffee, or you can even blend it into your coffee. It's worth checking into. It has great health benefits. But that's what I put. I buy the big bags and I'm putting them in my pretty little jars. And we'll be giving these with, I'll show you in just a minute, some little tea things that you can give with your gift and be able to give people a bread and tea or coffee, maybe a cup that they can put their tea in. That's really, really nice insulated cup that's has a little hand holding. You can find these, the little teacups, a variety of things. Throw in a honey with it so they have something to sweeten their tea with. You know, so there's a variety of things that you can do that will make a Great gift out of your banana nut bread, really quick. You can get locally. You don't have to go anywhere but the grocery store to get these teas. If you've never tried that one, it is great. That's a good tea. So we're going to take, right now, I have one of each of our breads, of our mini loaves here, of the chocolate chip, the walnut, and the original. And what I usually do is I'll put a little label on them so everybody will know, which one it is. You can even take and put a pick in them, and that way people will know. I found some of these little boxes here. Whoop, let me set that down. They're little bread boxes, and it has the lid that will close. And a nice little quick gift that you could do is take 3 of these. Just put it in they have some like little holiday bags or just plain Ziploc bags. Get 3, put them together. You have now this nice 3-pack of banana breads. Throw in just a couple, like a couple teas, and decorate them a little bit in here and make it look cute, and you can do a few of these and just get you a variety going with some pretty colors and make it super nice for someone. And if I'm giving this as a gift, I would probably throw in a little bit of candy or a peppermint stick or something like that. You can even make little chocolate spoons to go in the teas and coffee. But after you get all this into your little package here with your breads, just take and fold these over, and you have everything nicely protected. And you've made a wonderful gift for someone. You can even leave that open, and you can decorate the paper. And what I would do to make it look pretty on top is I would take one of these labels and I would attach it to the top and just decorate it up and make it look really pretty. So that's one idea. You can leave the paper out altogether, but with the baked goods, I like to protect them and do a little extra for them. What we have on this one, this was a nice box that I showed you that has the magnetic parts on it. And what we're going to do today, I'm going to take this walnut bread. I'm going to put one of them in there. And I'm going to put a chocolate bread in there. And then I'm going to take let's see, I don't know if this will fit. I was going to put that in the big one. So you could do like just a teacup in the box, put the honey underneath, and just, fill it up. Make a beautiful gift out of these so that when someone opens it up, they'll see that the beautiful bread. And with this particular dish, they'll have the nice pretty bacon dishes to go with it. And then there again, just fold it over. It gives a little protection to the bread. Now, if you were not immediately taking this to someone, you would want to wrap that bread in plastic wrap. But if you're going to be taking it to your family member and you're immediately going to be giving that as a gift to them, and it's almost that time, so might as well just go ahead and put your little label on here. You can tape that right there. It looks really pretty. You can put who it's from. Now the other one that I'm going to show you real quick, and these are just ideas for you. Just let your imagination go. You can do all kinds of things with these. But, you have, I guess basically what I'm trying to show you here is that it's limitless on what you can do with all this. You have like the little teacups, and I would pad this with some of the paper and put a little bit in between them, but you can lay them down, you can stand them up, have the tea, have a teacup, have the coffee in here with them, and then have your bread. Have you some loaves of bread in here with it. Some of the mini loaves, you could put 3 of them in here. You could have some chocolate. These are some of my children's favorite. Throw in the tea bags. And the good thing is with this box that I'm going to eventually fix up, I don't have everything ready for that yet, for one of my children. The teacups themselves, when I put the lid on here and I take this down, it's going to leave them standing up and protect them. So I got it to be that height. So that'll be a neat little idea for you. But just go look around at your local stores and find the goodies and find things that you can make these beautiful gifts with, and let your imagination go. Now, I did buy the dandelion leaf on Amazon. I got it because you can get the big bags in bulk there. But like I said, these little boxes, some of these right here I just picked up last year. And these I just got, and they're like 60% off right now. So it's a good deal. Catch them at the end of the season, and you can make some beautiful gifts. All right. Now let's see what all this banana nut bread looks like cut into, and we're going to try it out. Okay, here it is. I took all that out of the bowls that we had left over from the chocolate chip, walnut, and the original, that we didn't have enough to fill another pan, but we still had a good bit in them. I mixed them together, and I added a little bit of naughtiness. Me and John wanted a few more chocolate chips and walnuts in it, so we did. But this is the outcome. And there's your banana nut bread. And it looks so good. I wish you could smell it. The smell is outrageous. But what I have here, these are some of the little teacups that I was showing you earlier that you could, that I was telling you about, that you can make and put in there. You can find these little froggy, and I have some that's shaped like teapots. I have a cat that hangs from the side of your cup. You can find so many little cute tea, what do you call these? It's where you put the leaves in it, and then you put it down in your hot water and you let it steep. And then when they're done, we'll just raise them up, drain them a little bit, and set them over into their little cup. And you got the little froggies. And so cute. So we're going to let those sit a little bit longer and let it get a little stronger while we cut into this bread here. It's still hot, so it's a very, very soft. And it has a lot of chocolate in that one. So and what's better than to be able to share what you make and to give it as a gift, give it to the ones you love, sit down with your husband or your wife or your children, and just be able to share that goodness together. I hope this recipe will be a blessing to your family as you make it and give it as gifts. And I pray that this holiday season, that all of you will have a safe holiday with all the traveling, and just put God first in it and know that He gives us all of these wonderful blessings to share together. God bless you.